I didn't see you there. Let me just clear all of this up and then we can have a proper chat.
Now that that's cleared away, I probably should put in that warning that if you haven't guessed already, this episode is going to be heavy on Harry Potter. So a couple of weeks ago, it was the inauguration, and I knew that there was going to be a whole pile of people coming into town, and where I would normally be going out and about and going to museums and things like that, I just knew that it was going to be so full of tourists coming in for the inauguration that I thought, what a good time to just get out. And I didn't really know where I wanted to go, and then thought, Harry Potter World down in Orlando in Florida. And I know that's also where Disney World is, and a lot of people would be going, you didn't go to Disney World? It was just for a long weekend, and I wasn't too sure how much time I would need or want to spend in Harry Potter World. And let's face it, was probably going to be a lot longer than, that I was actually there for. So I just went, right, just focus on Harry Potter World, Universal Studios, and away I go. So that's what I'm going to tell you about. A little bit about Universal Studios, but it's going to be predominantly about Harry Potter. So if you're not a big Harry Potter fan, you might think this is not the vlog for you. But if you do want to know how Universal Studios does put on a bit of an event, a sort of a place to go, feel free to keep watching and listening. Because I am such a Harry Potter nerd, I did go onto the Universal Studios website, and they had some packages specifically set up for different kind of things. I didn't look at the rest. I just saw that there was a Harry Potter one. And so what it would give you is accommodation at one of the Universal Studios hotels, which meant you've got free transfer between the parks. And you'd also then get entrance into both parks, because Universal Studios has three main parks: Volcano Bay, Universal Studios Florida, and Island of Adventure. And so Harry Potter World has two. They have Hogsmeade and Hogwarts on one, and then they have Diagon Alley on the other. So it was entry to both parks, and then at the same time also that you could go to each park whichever days you wanted. It also gave me breakfast both 2 days. It got me into a few other things, like an ice cream, like at Florian Fortescue's, and a commemorative thing. I think you saw it at the start there, the Honey Dukes thing. And then there was also a photo shoot in one of those green screens, and some airport transfers as well. So really good deal. And I thought, well, why wouldn't I do that? I don't have to think about anything. All I have to do is get a flight down. The flight's only 2 hours from Washington, D.C., and not even that. I think about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how the wind's going. So it really was just an easy way to just go down, check it all out. Also, the weather was slightly warmer down there. So it was about where we've been getting sort of about 8 or 7 degrees centigrade during the day. Down there it was about 22, 23 degrees. So it was also a chance to just get some pleasant weather. The hotel I was staying at was probably one of the cheaper ones. They've got quite a few different ranges, and I guess, depending on what your makeup is of the group that you've got going. I just picked the cheaper one because what did I care? I was just going to sleep there overnight. It didn't really matter. So but it was very much a family-friendly kind of place. So it was set up for families, and the restaurant there was pretty much just a cafeteria and stuff. But it was really good. It was clean. It was part of the package. Beds were comfortable. I didn't mind. The Universal Studios itself. So I said, there's got 3 parks. So I didn't go to Volcano Bay. What I did get, though, because of January is not a particularly busy time down there, so they had a special on where if you bought a 2-day pass, you would get an extra 2 days. So I'd sort of planned, well, Friday, Monday, I'm just going to find something else to do around Orlando. Hadn't really sort of looked into it. Once I found out that I had a 4-day pass, basically, I just thought, right, that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Universal Studios. So it has So you get your bus and you go to this main area, and it's you go to City Walk. Now this is a place that's open to everyone, so you don't need a pass or anything to go there, and it's a lot of restaurants, and they've got a cinema there and different kinds of restaurants. So, high-end restaurants, some fast food. There's an escape room in there. There was Putt Putt. That's the one thing that I really wanted to do. But when you travel alone, I'm finding that there's not a lot I won't do by myself. That I'll think, why not? I'm just going to do that, because what does it matter? Go to the movies, go out to a restaurant, go to Universal Studios. Doesn't really matter. But Putt Putt just seemed to be one of those things that I just went, oh, I don't know if that's as fun. I don't know whether it's maybe because I am a little bit competitive, but I'm terrible at Putt Putt. So, I mean, if I had played with anyone, the likelihood is I was going to lose. But I did draw the line at playing Putt Putt by myself, because I think I would have felt like a bit of a saddo. But City Walk, very, very nice. And I ate there most nights, especially when I went to Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. So I've seen Forrest Gump quite a few times and quoted, "Run, Forrest, run," and Janu and all the rest of it. So happy to go there. Look, it's a great place. They really theme it out. Like it's just to the max. It is Forrest Gump up, and lots of interactive things to do. Food was really, really good. The service was fantastic. And then at the end of the night, they come and they ask you some trivia questions about Forrest Gump. I was really happy about that, because I got most of the questions right. What I didn't get was what number shirt he wears when he plays football, All-American football. And I've forgotten already. Is it 88? I don't know. Anyway, what they do have, though, is these commemorative boxes of chocolate. And so there's like a little tin, and it did have chocolates in there, but chocolates disappeared down my mouth. And I just thought, oh, that's so cute. So I had to get one of those. I wanted to take a photo. So out the front, and I think it's the same at every Bubba Gump place, that there's a bench and the shoes and the suitcase, and you can, sort of sit there and then get your shot like you are Forrest Gump. Well, these people, I'm obviously sitting there with a camera trying to take a photo. Do you think they were just sitting there resting? And I guess it is a bench so you can sit on it, but it's a tourist thing. Just go find another bloody seat. So I took a picture of them. If they didn't want their picture made public on my vlog, well, they should have thought of that before they sat down. The two parks that I went to, they had heaps of things in there. And I think that if you're going there as a fan, then of a particular area, you're not going to be disappointed. I think what really impressed me was the attention to detail. So they had all these different kind of worlds, and I'm going to check the notes because I'm going to forget them. So there's a Jurassic Park area, something called the Lost Continent, a Marvel area, Spider-Man. There's a cartoon type area, Popeye, the Mummy, a New York type set, an LA set, San Francisco set, Dr. Seuss. What else have I missed? Simpsons. I'll talk a little bit about Simpsons in a minute. I think that's about it. But the attention to detail. So the thing is that, so they've got their worlds and the streets and whatever, and you walk down and you see stuff, and it's all lovely in that. But it's those things like all of the bins, like the rubbish bins, are like that theme. The toilets as well are all like that theme, and there's plenty of toilets as well. You're never going to be in need of a toilet. I was very impressed by that. Predominantly, it's shops, food, and rides. I didn't go on any rides. I'm not a big ride person anyway, but I also saw that the lineups were just ridiculous for what for like a 2-minute ride, if that. So I just thought, look, I'll just wander around, and you could wander around for quite a while and just look at everything and still miss things. The detail was so good. So rather than overlay with photos, here's all of the different areas.
You want in? You want to get in here? I got a filming assistant. I can throw you in there. Just trying to get my good side. Last call, people. If you want a photo with Miss Marilyn, the Diamond Bellas, and a single fella, this is your chance. Look at these people. Give me a smile. Smile. Bigger smile. Yes. Yes, she did a good job. She also... Put your hands together. Coming to you on a dusty road. Good loving, I got a truckload. And when you get in, you got some. So
I mentioned The Simpsons. I have been a Simpsons watcher. Well, I've sort of stopped watching it. I think a lot of people are like that. That first maybe 15 years of Simpsons was some really good stuff. And even now I'm quoting Simpsons a lot still. And you know, there's a shared Simpsons quote with people that that you might not know all that well. Like when I got over here, and I didn't know the people that I was going to be working with, but someone had come up with a Simpsons quote, and you'd go, I know what that's wrong. And then you give them one back, and they knew as well. So there's something about old Simpsons quotes that bring people together. And so I really liked seeing the Simpsons area. Again, the attention to detail was absolutely fantastic. It was so good. So I want to say lifelike, but they're all bloody cartoons. But you could go in there. I loved the fact that they had that all-you-can-eat place, and then they've just taken out all from the sign to say you can eat. I had a Flaming Moe's, and I got a cup. I don't know if I was allowed to take the cup, but the guy gave me some shitty service, probably some of the worst service I've had since I've been over in the United States. And I went, I'm going to steal this cup. But I have a feeling it was part of it anyway. Now, so what it is see the bottom there. So this is like in a two-part, but I don't know how to get it apart. And what it is, it's like a little container down the bottom with holes in it, and they put dry ice in there. And then they just filled it up full of, I want to say orange cordial with maybe a little, it wasn't Fanta. It wasn't as fizzy as Fanta, but it wasn't as flat as orange cordial. It was something in between. And then, of course, as soon as liquid hits the dry ice, it just sort of, come across. I think I've got footage of it. But anyway, so it was more smoking Flaming Moe's than, smoking Moe's rather than Flaming Moe's. But I've got the mug, and I did notice that on the bottom, I don't know if you can see it, but it says, patent pending, patent pending, patent pending. It's a Simpsons quote, just in case you didn't get that. Anyway, so Simpsons was absolutely fantastic. Really loved seeing all of that, and had a good time. I didn't expect to see all of the people dressed the same. There were a lot of people that were here for a birthday or an anniversary or something, but the people that went with them all had T-shirts to say, oh, we're here for Freddie's birthday bash or whatever it was. So they'd all had matching T-shirts. I saw that on a cruise ship that I was on, where I saw that everyone sort of dressed in the same, and I just thought, okay, that's a cruise thing. But apparently it's also a theme park thing as well. And there was there was one that he had Papasaurus on it, and then his wife obviously had Mamasaurus, and then there was Auntie-saurus and a Kidosaurus and Uncleosaurus and all that kind of stuff, which I thought, really? Anyway. But that's what you want to do when you go to those kind of places. Knock yourself out. But there's obviously certainly a market for, T-shirts, bespoke T-shirts, advertising that you're there for a particular purpose. But they do like to acknowledge how many visits you've got as well. When I turned up at the desk and I was chatting to the girlie as she was checking me in at my hotel, and I shouldn't call her the girlie, the lovely lady that checked me in at the hotel, and she said, "Is this your first time to Orlando?" And I said, "Look, this is my first time to Orlando, to Universal Studios." She went, "Oh, first time in Universal Studios, we have to get you a badge." And I went, "Oh yeah, okay then," thinking, I don't know what she's talking about. But no, I'm celebrating first visit. And so I wore it thinking I might get stuff. But, there was a lot of people with, it's my birthday and it's my second visit and it's my first visit. And I went, oh, I'm not wearing this anymore. So, yes, so people that are wearing the same T-shirts, badges, there was lots of people dressed in Harry Potter. I would have thought that, well, I did see Spider-Man T-shirts and Marvel stuff and Betty Boop and T-shirts like that. So people had come with their theme T-shirt anyway. There was every third person that had dressed up or had dressed with a theme, it was Harry Potter. So it was very, very popular, which, expected. It's Harry Potter. Who doesn't love Harry Potter? Where do I start with Harry Potter? Look, I have read the book so many times. I waited in line a lot for the books. I agonised over how the characters were doing in between books, as Leah can attest to. I still wonder how at least one of the twins is doing. Anyway, so I was always going to be excited. My expectations were going to be super, super high. I knew there were some things. I knew that they had interactive wands. And so having the extra couple of days either side, because I'd sort of just planned Saturday, Sunday, go to Harry Potter World. And if I can get other parts of Universal in, I'll have a bit of a look. But really, I'm there for Harry Potter. And then Friday, Monday, think of something else to do. Because I got in at about 2:30 on Friday afternoon, left at about 2 o'clock Monday afternoon. Getting that extra 2-day pass meant that I could do a little bit of reconnaissance. So when I got there on Friday, I dropped my gear, got myself sorted in the hotel room, and then just hopped on one of these free shuttles. And I thought, I'll check it out. And what I will do is I'll go and get my wand first, because I know there's interactive stuff. So what you do is you go in and, you can just go buy a wand. You can buy it from multiple places. They even had specials on where if you get a $500 voucher to spend in the shops, they'll give you a free wand. In hindsight, maybe I should have taken them up on that deal. I don't think I spent that much. I did go a little bit crazy, but not super crazy. Anyway, so you can just go buy a wand. You can pick one out. They've got all of the different character ones, including from Harry Potter and from Fantastic Beasts. So if you wanted Queenie Goldstein's or something like that, you could do that. Or you could just have a general kind of wand. So what you can do though is you can go to the Ollivanders experience. So there's about 15 of us go into Ollivander's store. He comes down and he picks one person, and he then goes through the motions of getting them their wand. And it was just so cute, and it was a lot of animated stuff and electronics going on, and I've got a bit of that.
Welcome to Ollivanders, makers of fine wands since 382 BC. You may know that every Ollivander wand has a cord, a bow, matches. They use unicorn heads, phoenix tail feathers, and heartstrings of dragons. No two Ollivander wands are the same. Just as no two unicorns, dragons, or phoenixes are the same. And of course, you'll never get such good results with another wizard's wand, eh? This is a wand of hornbeam. 13 3/4 inches. It's durable. Dragon hot string cord. Ooh, I should like for you to bring down one of those wand boxes. Here, put your wand right up there. Say, Descendo!
Descendo.
Oh dear. Reparo! Oh, a perfect fit. That.
So at the end, this person has their wand. It's up to them whether they want to buy it or not. They can go buy another one if they like, but it's a nice thing to do. Once I'd seen that, I was happy, and I went and had a look for mine. Now, the price, people, look, it is a bit exorbitant, but I wanted to do the interactive stuff, so I know I needed it, and I've got it now. And if you ever go to Harry Potter World, and I don't know whether they work in every single Universal Studios, let me know, and you can borrow mine if you don't want to buy one. But anyway, it comes in this lovely box, and it's got Ollivanders on the side of it, fine wands since blah blah. And when you open it up, you've got your lovely wand. So I ended up getting an oak something or other, oak with phoenix feather. Okay, so I know it doesn't really have phoenix feather in there, but so I'm making a lot of noise here. What is it? English oak and phoenix feather. So that's my wand. And then I've got this lovely case that you can sit in to keep it good. There's a little sensor here. I'll talk about that. Then they also give you this map. So it's a map of both Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade, and it tells you where the little interactive places are so that you know where you can go. I'd already looked it up, so I knew where they were because I'm a nerd. But anyway, what can I tell you about the interactive? I've taken lots. I don't know how many I'm going to put in here because I don't want to spoil the fun for people that might be going. So I may only put in my couple of favourite ones. But let me just say, it was just such a bit of fun. And so in both, so we've got, I didn't even tell you about the two areas. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll talk to you about them a little bit later. Anyway, so at the front of windows and things like that, you've got little sensors. Look, I'm going to say it's magic. It's not really magic. There's a little sensor, and you point your wand at it in a particular way, and it will make something happen. And it's so cute. And so there's about 30 all up around the place, and then there's a couple of secret ones that aren't actually on the map. I only knew because looking it up on the internet, and one of them, it's just, I'm surprised they don't tell people because it's, invisible ink appears on this scroll. I ended up telling a couple of people that had kids with them, and I went, hey, while you're doing that one here, over here is and they were really happy. So I did I did all of the interactive ones, and it was just so cool to do. And there's some that where water will come down, and so unsuspecting people might get wet. One day we were there and it was raining, so I don't think they really cared at that stage. They were already getting wet. But if you do want to just the magic of it all with the interactive wand and everything, I'd say give it a go. And I understand. Look, I tell you that there probably were $100 Australian for the wand, but it is in a lovely case, and I did have a lot of fun doing that. And I've got a wand now, so you know it's all good.
Incendio.
Oh, you turned it off. There you go, Landon. Good job, buddy.
Revelio.
Gonna try and get back on track. So Friday night I went in to get my wand, and that's really all I did. I had a bit of a look and then got out of there, had a bit of a look around other areas in Universal Studios because I didn't want to spoil it. I just went, let's have a look, quick, get my wand, get out of there. So I think I mentioned there's two main areas in Universal Studios, one in each park, and that's more than is in Tokyo, Singapore, and somewhere else, maybe over in Los Angeles. So I think the others only just have Hogsmeade and Hogwarts, whereas here in Orlando, Florida, they've got Diagon Alley as well. So based on when I was going to get my breakfast, so first day I was going to have breakfast at the Three Broomsticks, so that meant I might as well do all of Hogsmeade and Hogwarts. And so I've walked in and it's just beautiful. It's got the snow on top of the buildings. They're all, you know, that chalet roof type thing. There's things happening everywhere. There's movement. There's, you know, wanted photos of Sirius Black that move. There's owls up in rafters that are hooting and moving. It was just amazing. And all of these different shops, not all the shops were open. Some of them were just there as fronts for you know, for the scenery. And it was just, look, if there had to be more people dressed up, it would have felt like you were actually in this place, like it actually does exist in real life. As it was just a whole pile of muggles there. But the breakfast was really good. They did try for an English breakfast, but they swapped out toast for croissants and a few other bits and pieces. And so anyway, I didn't mind. I got breakfast and I had a look around and was just so impressed with just the attention to detail. If you want to buy a bottle of water there, it's Gilly water. I got a butterbeer. The butterbeer, I didn't try the hot butterbeer or the alcoholic butterbeer. And they did have tankards, but they were plastic. So I just thought, I'm not going to bother. I'll just get one of those. I know that they gave me a straw and went, don't mix it, it'll be bitter. So I think I've got a shot of it. And yeah, so Hogsmeade was fantastic. The two rides that I was going to go on, I know that my nephew James and his wife Josie had said, look, this is the tip. And they'd only just been there in October for their honeymoon. They said, get there early and just go straight to the ride, and it's not as long a wait. And so I thought, right, let's just do that. And as you get in though, there's people already lining up. By the time I worked out, okay, this is what's going on, it was already an hour and a half wait for this one ride. And I just thought, bloody hell, I don't know if I want to waste an hour and a half just waiting in line. And then that was the shortest time for the rest of the day. It was in excess of 2 hours most of the day for this ride. And I think the ride's only about 2 or 3 minutes. So I'd be really interested to hear from people that do go on those rides. It obviously must be a really good ride for you to wait 2 hours in line. It's not like you can just go, oh, you give me a call when it's ready and I'll just be off, wandering around the place and, I'll come back in 2 hours and then just, no, you have to stand in line and slowly move and stand. And I just thought, what a waste when I'm not a big ride lover anyway. I was going to go on another one, which was slightly less scary, but then that lineup was, that was pretty big as well. And I just thought, oh, look, I don't need to go on the rides. It would be nice to do, but I'm not going to wait in line for it. There was one though that I did wait in line for. So this was one that was actually in Hogwarts Castle. This is the downside, where the Hogwarts Castle you can't actually go into unless you're going on this ride. And it was some kind of, I think it was a VR ride, but 4D they call it or whatever. And I was not going to go on the ride because they turn you upside down and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't be dealing with that. But I stood in line. The line for that ride was only about 30 minutes. That's how you get in and have a look at Hogwarts Castle, because they had heaps of stuff in there. They took you through Dumbledore's office, through the main hall where you saw all of the beads for the different houses. There was all of these walls with portraits on them, and then they'd start having conversations with one another. It was so good. And then I got up to a certain point where it looked like it was the point of no return, where they were starting to put people onto the rides. And I went, I'm happy to go out now. And they went, yeah, okay, then that's the exit for people that aren't going on the rides. So that'd be the thing I would say. If you are going and want to have a look through Hogwarts Castle, just line up for that ride. Because it's worth it just to go through the Hogwarts Castle, and that's the only way you're going to go through it. I ended up spending pretty much all morning at Hogsmeade and Hogwarts and just kept looking through things and trying to find things and doing things, and then thought, right, let's have a bit more of a look around the rest of Universal Studios where I was, and that's where I saw the Jurassic Park areas and all the rest of it, and that was all good. And then went, right, I've still got a bit of time here. Maybe I'll do a recce for Diagon Alley as well. I'll just have a quick, so I know exactly where to walk and where to go, so I'm not wasting time. Because I do find when I'm on holiday, I spend a lot of time walking around going, is this where I'm supposed to be? Oh, I better check. Probably should have researched this first. So I thought, right, let's proper recce. And so headed on over to the next park. That's something that, I don't know if maybe it's common knowledge to everyone, but there's 3 parks, and I think it's the same with all of the theme parks. If they've got multiple parks, you can get a park pass for one day, or the other park for another day, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can go to both of them on the same day, unless you have a park to park pass, which is extra again. So that, anyway, I had my park to park pass, which was good. And so I could just nick over to the next park and have a bit of a look. So glad I did, because I've come into Diagon Alley, and there was a dragon on top of Gringotts, and everyone's waiting, and they're waiting with their cameras, and I'm thinking, I'm a sheep. Something's going to happen, okay. And this dragon shot out fire. It was so good. And you got a little growl from it first so that you knew it was coming. Apparently there's no, it's maybe a minute and a half. That could be Old Faithful. I've been doing a bit of research on Yellowstone, but maybe it's the same thing. Old Faithful in Yellowstone and the dragon on top of Gringotts goes off at about a minute, 90 seconds. was, I think I went home and had a good night, but then went back and it was very, very rainy. So I knew there was thunderstorms coming in, and I thought, a little bit of rain, it's okay. It's, 16, 17 degrees. It's pretty much quite warm compared to what I've been putting up with. What that meant though, the next day, that dragon wasn't going off. So when it's particularly bad weather, the dragon doesn't breathe any fire. And there were so many people that were there trying to take photos of it. And I felt so bad for them. And I thought, well, thank God I went the day before to prepare. So we've got all of the shops that you expect to see. They've got Celestine Warbeck performing with the Banshees. There's just so much stuff going on. It's fantastic. They've even then got Nocturne Alley, and there was another alley. I can't remember what that was. But again, the attention to detail. Now, because this was pretty much my last sort of day, I knew that this is probably when I was going to start buying stuff. And I'd been trying to work out where I had seen everything, because there were some things that you could only get in certain places. So I got this beautiful quill, and it's got a little thingy on it, and it's actually a decent pen. I don't know how I'm going to swap it out. Anyway, that's for when it runs out. But that was so gorgeous. I got that, and I got some other, I've got a Ravenclaw shirt and things like that. But they would have things like in Borgin and Burke's, you could only get dark art stuff. So there was Deathly Hallows stuff. There was a lot of the Dark Mark stuff. There wasn't Puffskins or things like that. You wanted Puffskins, you'd have to go to Zonko's or to Weasley Wizarding Wheezers and stuff like that. If you wanted Honeydukes, obviously Honeydukes is not in Diagon Alley. We only learnt about Honeydukes when they were in their third year. Anyway, so they were quite consistent with that, but a lot of the stuff that you could just get everywhere. And I'm not just saying just in the Harry Potter worlds, all of the shops pretty much had some form of merchandise from all of the different areas. I think I said, so I got breakfast. So I got breakfast that day as well. And so I went to the Leaky Cauldron. That was so cute. Same, it's exactly the same fare. Oh, just on the pricing, they were very consistent with their pricing as well. So if I saw something and saw that it was a particular price, it was the exact same price everywhere else. There was even a shop in my hotel that had bits and pieces of everything, and a lot of Harry Potter stuff there as well. Exact same price. So super, super consistent. So anyway, breakfast was exactly the same as what it was at the Three Broomsticks. Didn't mind. It was still quite nice. Good to have a breakfast, start the day off. That's also though where I then did a green screeny type of a thing. So we had this thing where, and it was one of those things that I thought, look, if on the day, if I feel like going, I'll go. And you go there and they give you a robe if you don't already have yours on. They put you in front of a green screen and they give you a whole pile of scenarios and you have to act accordingly. Like, you're on the train, there's, the twins out there and they're letting off fireworks and you've got to go, all that kind of stuff. And then they record it and then they give it to you on this DVD. So a good thing I do have a DVD player back home in Australia. So I'll be able to watch that. But they also gave me a link to it. I'm not going to share that with all you guys because, I'm not Meryl Streep. And so, I'm not gonna bloody show you that. But they also did give you some photos. So we got some photos, and I got my two favourite ones. I think I got the train. So there's me catching the train. I'll get it without the glare of the lights. But this was my favourite one. That was me doing magic in front of the dragon in Diagon Alley. I think I mentioned I got to go to Florian Fortescue's ice cream place, and they gave us 4 flavoured ice creams in tubs. I say they gave us. They gave me 4 tubs of ice cream in the thingy. Oh, I'll show you the thingy. So it's just like this is now my new lunchbox. And so they put it in there, and it was way too much ice cream. It was, I don't know whether they do that and just, like, if you go with a pair and they give you, even for 2 people, it was too much. I mean, I ate it because, you know, we don't want to waste food, but I did over a long period. I was so glad I had these and it was a colder day that I could just store the ice cream, and then I'd have a little stop and have a bit more ice cream. Flavors were beautiful. I had butterbeer flavor. There was a lovely orange one, and a couple of others, but really good. And then I've got this commemorative bag to keep. So I was really happy with that. So that was all part of the package. So that dictated, that's why the second day was going to be Diagon Alley. They had night bus out the front. They also had things like, they had Grimmauld Place. And if you bang really hard on the door, up top, Creature sneaks his little head out to see what's going on. It was such a wonderful, magical place. I was so glad I've been. It's definitely one of the highlights so far for me, which, it sounds a bit sad that it's all a fake place that's just been, you know, recreated to try and cash in on people going. But cha-ching, you know, it worked on me. And they've got another park opening up called Epic in May. And it's going to have a few things in it, but it's also going to have a third Harry Potter area called, I think it's the Ministry of Magic. And it's also going to include a bit of France from the second Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. So there was a circus element to that, as well as the streets of Paris. So I think I'm going to go back there. We'll have to go back after May because it was just so wonderful. Do I think I would have had a better time if I'd have gone with someone? Maybe. I'm not too sure. I am going to try and convince my sister, Zelda, to come with me maybe next year, and we can go down and see the new area, and she can experience the 2 worlds herself. And I'd certainly enjoy going back there again. I mean, I had free time. I had time that I could have maybe done more in Orlando. I didn't realise that Cape Canaveral was so close, that they've got Tampa. It's only about an hour away. And I probably could have seen a bit more. I think I wasn't too worried about seeing too much because, like I said, I just wanted to get out of town for the inauguration and let's just focus on Harry Potter worlds, and that would be fine. So if I do go back down again, maybe I would understand, you know, well, I don't really need to see the other worlds, so I'm not going to waste time with them, and how much time I would actually need at each park. So, but as a Harry Potter nerd, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so good, and I would just encourage all the Harry Potter fans to try and get to this place if they can, because it was just wonderful. I haven't mentioned the Hogwarts Express. So there is a Hogwarts Express that travels between the 2 parks. Now, remember I said to you before that you can get a park one day pass and then another day pass, or you can get a park to park, which means that you can go to both, any park, whatever day you want, and both parks at the same time, park to park. Well, the Hogwarts Express, because it goes from one to the other, it means you have to have a park to park, otherwise you're not allowed on it. They're thinking up there, aren't they? Anyway, before I went, about maybe 4 or 5 days before I left, I was checking the app to see what's going on over there. So I've downloaded the Orlando Universal Studios app, and I'm checking things out, you know, how long rides are, what's going on, what events are happening, if there's anything special happening. And I noticed that the Hogwarts Express was down for maintenance, and it was going to be down until the 19th. which was the Sunday. And I just thought, oh no, I'm not going to be able to get on there unless it's for reals, it is going to open up on the Monday. And it made me glad that I then went, okay, so I've got these extra days to go, because that meant that Monday I'm just going to go and do that. And so it looked like it was definitely going to be back online again on the Monday. And so I did that first up, because that's another one where there is a bit of a lineup during the day, because I noticed that later on in the day that there was maybe half hour to 45-minute wait to get on the train. That was probably one that I was actually going to get on, because someone at work had said it's really good, it's worth doing. So I got on at Hogsmeade, and I was really happy about that because the train came in that way, and so I got really good footage of it doing that coming in, so you can see all the smoke coming out, or steam, whatever it was. Anyway, so you get in, and what it is it's certainly like a train, and it's the compartments are like those old type of compartments like you see on your Orient Express, and then what it is they've got the window is basically a screen, and so stuff will start happening. So we were obviously leaving Hogwarts and Hogsmeade and going back to London to King's Cross Station. So we started to see things that were happening there. But what they also did though is the door shut, like, so it was sort of like a not mirrored panel, it's like a opaque panel. So it's sort of like frosted, that's it. So it's like a frosted panel on the doors. And so they would put shadows and things like that, like Ron, Hermione and Harry walking past talking about, you know, getting something from the trolley. And it was just brilliant, so enjoyable. And, you know, you're in there with other people, it didn't really matter. You know, we were happy enough as it is. It's only about maybe a 5-minute ride, and you get off and it's really, really good. I'm really happy with it. But you needed to go back as well, because it's different when you go back from King's Cross Station through to Hogsmeade. So I did that on the Monday morning, and I was just really happy that it had opened up again and I could get on it and do that. It was really, really good.
Like a pretty nasty lot to me.
Well, I think that's enough Harry Potter for anyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I really had a ball there. And I'll see you next time with my next adventure. Who knows where that will be?